Our second of 4 quarterfinals here at the 2025 ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship in Charlotte. It's the 5-seeded Clemson Tigers and the 4-seeded Duke Blue Devils. Callie Hem, we just heard Rachel DeCecco talking about her in studio. She leads the way for the Blue Devils.
She's the transfer from Harvard, does an excellent job finishing on the inside. You look at the other supporting cast, Bella Goodwin, 45 goals, and Carly Bernstein, 37 goals.
Lindsay Marshall comes over from Towson as a graduate transfer. She's had a phenomenal season thus far. She's the slick and deceptive Dodger, and she has a lightning-quick first step.
No Kayla McLeod, so the sophomore attacker had a season-ending ACL injury in their last time out against Pitt. But number 27, Natalie Shurtleff, will fill that attacking spot while Kayla McLeod looks on from the sideline.
And Duke wins the opening draw with...
You do have to be careful playing against a zone. They want you to look in the inside, and then they'll collapse in on you.
Tried to get it to Hem, and Emily Lamparter was there in the way for the interception.
They're electing to face guard Lindsay Marshall. They were face guarding Kayla McLeod. As they turned the ball over there, Kayla McLeod was shut off in the...
Risky pass, but it pays off. Feed inside looking for Hem. She wasn't there, but it's a scoop and score. Bella Goodwin in perfect position.
The scoop and score. And you see the crashing of Clemson defensively. They want her to look open for a second, and then they will collapse inside, but love Goodwin's ability.
Kimmel telling us about Goodwin, that she brings such passion and really challenged herself to improve from her freshman to sophomore year. A year ago, only 11 goals. Now she's more than quadrupled that tally. Callie Hem chases down the ground ball, and Duke can set up their offense again.
The defense throughout the entirety of the shot clock is key.
Clemson's defense comes away with it. Third year of the program, looking to get to their first ACC semifinal. Great save by Everson. Clemson this program in the ACC, and it feels like it's deja vu for the Tigers. In all 3 years, they've come in.
They do great things.
Great feed, quick stick finish. Bridget Babcock.
Those were teammates for the Big Red of Cornell in the Ivy League, and they connect there for the first goal for this Tigers offense.
So, and they were able to just make that a 1-goal game. They think they still can win without her, but obviously a huge loss, and other people.
Shurtleff passes out of the double team, and it's another Clemson goal. Brooke Goldstein, the freshman,
has improved, and this is just a great pass, slip into space, increase the angle, the stick protection, and Clemson's up 2-1.
This quarterfinal is a terrific rematch of a great regular season game. Clemson took a 4-0 lead early, and Duke battled back on the road to secure the win. Maddie Shearer scored the game winner off an Ava Pronti assist. 12-11, the final 30 years ago, Clemson just 3. And they meet in this quarterfinal with a spot in the semis on the line. What would you take away, Sheehan, from that winning assist to Maddie Shearer in the regular season matchup? Hard foul. That'll be a free position.
Even in that matchup.
Bernstein saved by Lamparter.
The defensive coordinator made that change coming out of the timeout. It's a 3-1-3, so they're respecting Clemson's presence behind the cage and their ability to attack, which has gotten better as the season's gone on, so they've diversified their offense.
Officials huddled up, and the officials actually are going to give the ball to Duke. So instead of a Clemson free position, the officials come together and award the ball to Duke.
We're being told that the call on the field was an inadvertent whistle, so Duke gets a lucky break.
Woodworth, 10 in white. 2 sophomore midfield players that have provided a boost on the offensive. Feed inside, perfectly placed. Bridget Babcock again.
Her stick low makes it very difficult for Everson to read that. Nice release point.
Leading scorer, Kayla McLeod. They've been impressive on the offense. Years ago, they were on the wrong side of it the last 2 years. A win today could move them to the right side of the bubble. Good takeaway by Riley Traynor.
Decision with the passing. We've seen a couple turnovers, so you just need to be a little bit more careful. But you also look at, that's too risky of a pass right there. So you can go to
Great feed. And a foul called, which will send Clemson to the 8-meter. From the 8-meter, charges in against Everson, didn't get it away cleanly, and Duke comes away with it. The opening quarter, Shearer in attack mode, lost it again. 6 turnovers for Duke in this first quarter. A 19-9 win against Virginia Tech. And Clemson picks up where they left off. A draw. Shot clock ticks under 15. Feed inside. Great save. Kennedy Everson.
Can catch just about anything. You want to be able to get her an open lane.
Bouncer whizzes wide.
Bella Goodwin was fouled on that shot with a push into the body, so she's going to get an 8-meter.
On with Lamparter. Takes it in through traffic. Lamparter says no. Great save by Emily Lamparter. And Clemson can... Marshall double teams, passes out of it. Shurtleff has a step. Takes it all the way in and buries it low. Natalie Shurtleff.
And she does it after Marshall draws the attention of the defense. She recognizes the all-out pressure and she just attacks straight through the heart of the defense.
Great stick control. You can see just the power cradle that she has, the protection of her stick.
You said, Charlotte. Make it 4 straight Clemson goals. Ow. What a spin and a goal! Spectacular finish! Brooke Goldstein, the freshman.
But doesn't fall to the ground. Heads up play, looking for the pass. Beautiful job. Evades the crease.
Tigers sideline, and a Clemson team knowing that they likely needed a win to keep their season alive today.
Forward.
Trying to squeeze it into Goodwin. That's a risky pass again, and it leads to another turnover.
We've talked to many coaches that how do they attack a face guard? Do they pull the player out and go 6-on-6? And a lot of them like that.
Clemson shooting is special in this first half. Another beautifully placed. It's a first half hat trick for Bridget Babcock.
That sheet in every category. She uses the pick by Natalie Shurtleff here, gets underneath and buries it on the run. This Tigers offense is rolling.
That's coming in next year. They've done well in the transfer portal. Putting all the pieces together, but they're playing it right now in the best league in the country, in the ACC. So, as we talked about in the open, a win today against Duke would go.
Now, Duke scored the first goal of the game, and Clemson has responded with 6 unanswered. They have grabbed control of this matchup. Duke is desperate to get something going. Long battle for the ground ball. Amanda Pacey had it, and now Carrie Neese controls it for the Blue Devils.
Duke goes back into their zone defense, and Pacey with the takeaway there to give their offense a chance to score.
Goodwin pushing the tempo. Duke trying to get something in transition, and it's an offensive foul.
Watch the defensive positioning. Does look like possibly a little bit of a push from that angle, but from the view that we had, it did look like an offensive charge on that call. Great.
On the run, Castiello blows it by Everson, and it's 7 unanswered goals for Clemson.
But they have done an excellent job, and Katie Castiello, just beautiful. Look at the ball movement, the rotating of the defense. She drives hard and releases this.
On the sidelines despite not being able to play.
When you look down, she is right there by the sub box. So sometimes you see the injured players on the other end. Clemson, 7 caused turnovers. That's a good job, Duke, actually moving the ball and drawing that shooting space.
0 for 2 on their free position opportunities. That one goes. Carly Bernstein bounces it home.
Very difficult angle of the 8-meter, but the reason she was given this foul shot was due to her off.
In the national rankings. Interesting enough, the selection committee put out their projected top 10. They had Virginia at number 5. So number 5 in the country, and yet number 7 ended a 22-minute scoring drought as we tick under 4 minutes to play in this first half. Great save. Chloe Provenzano has subbed in goal. Kennedy Everson out of the game, and Provenzano, the transfer from Harvard, backup goalie, with her first save of the day. Provenzano's been in there for the last 2 minutes, saves the first shot she faces. Give and go, Pronti finds Bernstein, who couldn't quite finish it.
That have. And it's key for Pronti to dodge, to be able to make that pass and get her hands free.
Pronti looking for Shearer. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and Clemson comes away with another caused turnover. That's 8 caused turnovers for this Tigers defense in this first half. In the fall and the early spring. And right now, that goalie switch is Bella Goodwin with a head of steam. Denied.
The 50-50 balls. Who's going to come up with this?
Duke does this time. Bernstein, great feed. The finish. Ava Pronti in front. She leads the team in assists, but that
interior, they pick up the 50-50 ball, and now they get the ball to X. But Ava Pronti sees exactly where the seam is. You still force the defense to collapse and then settle back into the possession.
If they choose. What a spectacular goal that is. Goldstein, great feed.
Again, you don't have to be completely wide open. She's veering a little bit off angle, but she gets that shot off.
Difficult catch to make, let alone to finish it with pressure on your hands.
That Clemson has dominated. 7 unanswered goals after Duke scored the opener. And Clemson, with their season on the line, an impressive first half.
Turn it around here as we start the third.
Yeah, this was a Duke team on a 6-game winning streak before that loss to North Carolina, and that was far from their best in the first half. The good news is you're only down by 5, plenty of time left in this game.
They wanted to give her more space today, give her more opportunities. You also can get a zone in 3 seconds, so Duke needs to make sure that they try to draw that.
Watching what the defense is doing and where the gap is for her to slip into.
Delayed whistle, 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Is just getting a little bit more to the center of the field.
No angle, goes low and bounces it through Lamparter.
And doesn't really get to the inside, just goes straight on the line, but throws in a little fake, but I like her little deception.
And remember, in the regular season meeting, Duke fell down 4-0, battled back to win that game by a goal. So even though they trail by 4 here, they'll have plenty of confidence that they can roar back.
Looks like a foul off ball, no call. We'll take a look at that play. Number 40 in white, some contact there. She was trying to plead her case to the official, no call on that play. Wow, she's wide open right now.
They tried to squeeze it into Ham, they find her. Callie Ham finally finds the back of the net.
Exactly where the ball is moving, the direction in which it's moving, and that is how she presents such a great target in a money spot on the interior of a zone defense. And this
Ellie White, another draw control win to herself this time.
11:58 left in the third quarter.
And a card coming out. Duke will go on the power play.
Want to make sure if you're Duke, your eyes are up.
What a save! Lamparter denies the quick stick finish of Biancardi.
You have that 2-player system on the interior of the woman down zone defense. You find a wide open look. But Lamparter closes the door with a quick reaction to her feet, but the Blue Devils get it back on the ride.
Blue Devils a 3-on-1. Hem cashes in! Callie Ham blows it right past Lamparter.
Ground ball scuffle, Bella Goodwin with a nice tip. Maddie Shearer, her head is up, and she gets it, Callie Ham. Watch this finish. But a great response in the third quarter for Duke.
And the Blue Devils draw control violation will stay on possession. Duke has scored 5 of the last 6 goals in this game. And Clemson was up 7-1. And Duke, the big key in this third quarter, 0 turnover.
Get her out of position inside, they found her. but she can be even more effective.
That rings off the pipe. Lamparter might have gotten a piece of it. Maddie McDonald, the freshman, denied by Lamparter.
Nice.
For today. Friday, 5 Eastern time on ACC Network right here in Charlotte. Clemson looking for a response, and they get one. Big time finish, Lexi Edmonds.
She's presenting her stick, but she manages to gather it, stop her feet. Notice the defense is overcommitted.
Saturday right here on ACC Network. On the men's side, Duke will be in Charlottesville to take on Virginia at 3 Eastern, and then followed by Syracuse. It'll be 2 terrific games, and then the men will be, yellow card has come out here.
Kira Bayless for number 21 in orange will serve the penalty for a check to the head, but he's now on the circle. And then you've got number 18, Ellie White, who's been taking the draw and has done a great job, and she draws that yellow card foul.
Well, that is a costly turnover. You move on to the power play. You've done such a good job in this third quarter limiting the turnovers, and a needless, risky pass there sails way over the head, but Nice wins it back. Blue Devils with numbers. Bernstein doesn't have the angle, feeds it back. What a save! Emily Lamparter to the rescue.
Save that play. This is a big time stop. Watch Lamparter. I mean, this should have been a goal. And a beautiful, she just extends her leg. Looks like Duke is going to opt to play more aggressive defensively. That can burn you.
And it does here. Babcock. Clemson scores shorthanded, and it's Bridget Babcock with her 4th goal of the day. Shorthanded.
Is Babcock the secret weapon for this Clemson offense? Coming into this game with 8 goals, she's got 4. The defense for Duke
Getting aside, using her speed, and driving in to the middle of the defense.
And it's crazy because when we talked to Coach Allen for 32 in orange, Lindsay Marshall still being face guarded.
Katie Castiello, perfectly placed. The captain, Castiello, cashes in on.
It's been both the graduate transfers from Cornell. We mentioned Bridget Babcock. How about Katie Castiello earns this center?
Clemson's making the switch on their draw control unit 2. Susan Lowther taking the draw, and Duke with another win.
6. And another Duke turnover on 8 of their last 9 shots. Extra efficient in this quarterfinal. That one goes high from Castiello. Without McLeod.
Totally. They have responded so well. Bridget Babcock, obviously a huge bright spot.
Ability to adjust to this Duke defense that's going in and out of a man with a face guard and a zone defense.
The zone defense will get caught in 3 seconds violation, so this will set up an 8-meter.
And there's still more than 4 minutes left to this third quarter. Shurtleff couldn't bury the free position.
Great hustle. Duke will win that run out, and that's it.
This Clemson defense been difficult to break down. Hem with a great opportunity there. Usually fires that time. You know she wants that chance back.
That was a nice pass inside to Hem, but Clemson shows why they've been successful on defense. Their sticks in the passing lane.
Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And Clemson just dumps it to the corner, accepts the shot clock violation, and can set their defense. Great feed. Lamparter! She's been a brick wall at times. Bails out Clemson's defense again. What an inspired performance this is. 7 saves today.
And I love when we talk about goalkeepers and how hard that position is as Duke comes up with a caused turnover in the ride. Carly Bernstein
make that happen.
Again, Duke gets it in close and can't find them. Lamparter certainly played a piece as well.
It's a hard foul. That's in between the 30s. That should at least be a green card. Going to be a green card, 1 minute releasable foul against Duke.
Now Clemson can hold this ball, finish the third quarter with the power play, which means there would be no draw control to start the fourth. They would just remain on possession. Of Clemson will take a 5-goal lead into the fourth quarter. Just back to even strength. And a foul called as Duke was about to come away with it.
They'll call Duke for the hold call, and that'll result in an 8-meter.
Positions today. Back to even strength. Great take! Natalie Shirtliff maneuvering on the inside.
Many different ways to score off the 8-meter. Shirtliff does a great job of stick protection and just penetrating in.
Finals to the day, North Carolina beating Virginia Tech 19-9, and Clemson well on their way.
Take time off the clock and make their possessions longer. So Duke needs to be in attack mode.
Off-ball foul there right on the interior. And that's going to give Bella Goodwin a good look on this hash. She's got
the sophomore from Basking Ridge, New Jersey, pulls it out.
To attack off of the ball movement, so as soon as the ball zips.
Pass inside, they had a wide open. Shirtliff misses the cage.
At times they pulled her completely out.
Shirtliff this time buries it. Natalie Shirtliff.
By Reagan Byrne on the elbow is what opens up her dive cut to the back pipe. I love
put up 13 goals. Just the supporting cast and the depth of their offense is really showing out.
Into that defender to be able to free your hands.
Bernstein through traffic. Called for an offensive foul. The Duke's pressure creates a turnover. Blue Devils have numbers. Here's Callie Hem. Charges in and scores. Big time goal for the Blue Devils.
Really heads up play. This starts with the turnover. Maddie Shear picks up the ground ball, doesn't see the fast break opportunity, but gets it to Hem. Look how smooth Hem is. Just gets to the inside.
Battle for the draw control won by Clemson.
But it looks like they're making this possession a little bit more methodical, which is not a bad decision. That's good. Just try to use the clock as your friend, but still be aggressive.
Shirtliff denied. Duke's going to have to try and find 6 more goals with a little more than 9 minutes remaining. Time not on the Blue Devils side.
Lindsay Marshall took a lot of contact there as she drove in off of the dodge. Hasn't had a lot of touches today, being face guarded by Mabel Overbeck.
Bernstein weaving in, bouncer. Lamparter got a piece of it.
As you dodge the zone defense, you've got to continue to have layered cuts on the interior.
Bella Goodwin denied.
It's another shot clock reset, so a long possession.
Ham got collapsed on the inside. And this will be an 8-meter opportunity for Callie Hem. This game. Rears back, lets it rip. Lamparter says no.
Absolutely answered the bell as the last line of defense for this Tigers team. Reads it all the
here. Been quiet today, face guarded throughout. And a foul off ball. A delayed fire and it pays off. Lexi Edmonds, a hat trick.
Looked like Evans gonna step and rip, but instead she goes hard to cage, gets.
And I think all of us were expecting another close competitive game that would probably be decided by a...
And bearing a much heavier load as a dodging threat of this offense.
Great save, Kennedy Everson back into the game, and she responds. Duke might have just run out of time as they turn it over again. The turnovers have been killer for this Blue Devils team. That's 17 on the day, and now a card coming out, a frustration foul.
That's going to be called a push against Duke, and again, the green card, the fouls in that midfield area between the 230s.
For today. And this game, and there will be a lot of Clemson highlights. 14 goals for, and what could be their first trip to the NCAA tournament. They've lost. They've failed to add to their resume. Today, they certainly have.
I do. I think they've had such a strong season, and statistically, this is their best season so far in this conference, in the ACC, just the third season of the Clemson Tigers having a lacrosse program. It's long for this Tigers team, just building chemistry and playing their best.
Not the turnover bug in their regular season finale against North Carolina, and that is carried over to this performance today.
Space. That's a real swinging check and a hard whistle. Looks like that's going to be carded. Got to be careful of those stick checks. Duke will be down a player. Yellow card up to 2 minutes. Gets reset to 90 seconds. You can utilize the entire field. There's not a certain area that you need to.
One more goal to the tally. Why not? Lexi Edmonds does it again. That's her 4th of the day. No doubt in this ACC quarterfinal. Kayla McLeod loves it. The Tigers are headed to the program's first ever ACC semifinal, and very well could be their first ever NCAA tournament appearance.
Lexi Edmonds dissecting the backside, presence on the inside.
Goldstein has had a phenomenal season. 34 assists on the season is a big jump.
And she and I've been most impressed.
30 seconds remaining. I go back to in that third quarter, Duke had scored 3 goals in a row to cut this Clemson lead to 2. And then Emily Lamparter made a huge save as she makes another one right on cue. 11 saves on the afternoon for Lamparter. And the Clemson Tigers have left, no doubt, for the first time in program history, the Clemson Tigers are headed to the ACC semifinals.
A complete performance by the Tigers today with their backs against the wall. They pull off a historic win to make it to the ACC semifinal for the first time on the back of their senior veteran goalkeeper, Emily Lamparter, 11 saves on the day.
Clemson showing what you need. Got to have offense to defense, and they had a little bit of everything. And see the tears for Duke, who's had such a great season.
So our first semifinal is set. Friday, 5 Eastern time. Number 1, North Carolina, the undefeated top-seeded Tar Heels, against the Clemson Tigers. Just the 3rd year of this program, and they're in the ACC semifinals.